Everybody say good morning to my mama. Everybody say, hi, Mama Wolfie. Morning. Happy Saturday, Mama Wolfie. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am your lone wolf Usul, and I am here to present you with another cavalcade of goodness from the courts of the United States of America. Today we have Middleton, we have Simpson, and we have Fleischer. I have, it's not full dockets or anything like that. It's actually 3 cases with Middleton. A little bit of a news update that I threw in before the Simpson, and the Simpsons are actually not landlord-tenant docket. This is actually a criminal docket that was from yesterday, and the Fleischer is actually from yesterday also. You may have seen some of the stuff from Fleischer, but I can guarantee you haven't seen all of the stuff from Fleischer, and you might not have seen it the way I have it put together. So stick around. We got some good stuff happening this morning. It will be fun. Looking forward to getting this started in just a few minutes, as soon as our intro song finishes playing in about 30 seconds. It's the fastest 30 seconds I have ever experienced in my whole life. But that is that. Intro music is over. I'm here. The dogs are laying in the floor. The cat's in front of the door. And Middleton is on the screen. So we're going to get right into it. I present to you Judge Middleton from Thursday. These are some pretty interesting cases.
Good morning, sir. Are you Dylan Christopher Fenning?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
I'm Judge Middleton. I had met with you before. This is file 241380T. You got a ticket in White Pigeon on January 27th of 2024 for driving a no valid operator's license. You were working on getting your license in Indiana. We had a pretrial on March 19th, and the city attorney agreed to dismiss the no ops charge for a plea to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. What the heck? And it was set for a plea and sentencing, and you didn't show up. So we did a show cause, and then you didn't show up, and a bench warrant issued for your arrest. So
Right.
Let's talk about that. No ops is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Carries 2 points, and it goes on your driving record. Seth Coaches, the White Pigeon Village attorney, had agreed to dismiss that charge for a plea to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That one carries no points. It doesn't go on your driving record and won't affect your ability to get your Indiana license. So that was set up, but you didn't show up.
Yeah, I know.
Do you still want to enter a plea to the charge of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code?
What do you mean?
Well, right now you're charged with no ops, which goes on your driving record and will affect your ability to get your Indiana license. The village attorney offered to dismiss that charge for a plea to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. It was set up for you to come in April and enter a plea and get the sentence, which would have been a fine, but you didn't show up. So
yeah, no,
you didn't show
I've been in and out. I've been in and out of a mental hospital. I'm homeless. I don't have any way to get around, Your Honor. Like,
all right, well, do you want to do the original deal and plead to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code? I'm going to give you a fine, and I'm going to let you out of jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you get arrested last night?
Supposedly I was staying in my girlfriend's dad's shed, and supposedly the neighbors heard somebody yell, "Help, help, help," and the police showed up or something. And I don't know, it wasn't no situation. Then they ran my ID and they arrested me
Where was this?
in Golden Ponds.
All right. All right, if you plead to that charge, other than what I told you about letting you out of jail and giving you a fine, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No,
or threaten you?
no.
Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? Do you understand? If you had
Yes.
a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you could not afford an attorney, I could appoint one for you at county expense. In fact, the Chief Public Defender, Mr. Keith Stickley, is here in the courtroom with me now. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you driving a car in White Pigeon back in January of 2024, January 27th?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you not have a valid Michigan or Indiana license?
Yes, I did not.
All right, very good. The fine is $75. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee. That's $200. I'm gonna give you until July 31st to pay that. Now, where are you gonna go when I let you out of jail?
I don't have a clue.
Well, do you know where Keystone is here in Centerville?
Yeah, I've been trying to get in through there and they've been telling me that they're packed, they're booked, and they don't have any room or any way to help. And I've been trying to get in there for like the last month and a half.
Well, I don't want you to just be standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. You can't go back to your girlfriend's dad's place?
Well, I don't know because we both got arrested together, so she's in here too.
What's her name?
Corey Niffen.
Yeah, I'm gonna see her in a bit. She had a drunk driving case and some other stuff she just didn't come to court for.
Yeah, that was my fault too because I lost my vehicle. Because I was the one time that she did show up, I was the one that did bring her the one time, and then I ended up losing my vehicle and everything, so. That was kind of my fault why she wasn't able to make it.
Well, I'll see her in a little bit. All right, Mr. Fenning, I don't know what to say. Lisa Iantelli may have some help, but I would suggest otherwise you walk over to Keystone. If you need a bus pass or anything, stop up here at the courthouse and I can get you a bus pass. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't, and I appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thanks, have a great day.
He's in dire straits. Good morning. Are you Corey Ann Niffen?
Yes, sir, I am.
I just spoke with Mr. Fenning and he told me he got arrested last night staying in your dad's shed and that you
Yeah.
also got arrested.
Yes, sir.
I'm here with Keith Stickley, the Chief Public Defender. We've got several cases we need to address here. you got a drunk driving charge, operating while intoxicated on May 3rd of 2023. You were
Right.
charged with operating while intoxicated. No operator's license. In file number 23841 and 842. You pled not guilty to that charge, and Mr. Tim George was appointed as your lawyer. You had failed to appear several times.
Yeah, and the last time I was stuck in Indiana, I tried to call my attorney and let him know, but yeah, I failed after that. I'm sorry.
All right, well, first you failed to appear in December of 23, right at the very end of the year.
Yeah,
And you got, you did make some phone calls. We tried to reset it for February. And you said you got stuck in Indiana. I did a show cause hearing. You didn't show up for that. And you knew there was an outstanding warrant for you, and you never came into the courthouse. I'm here all day, every day. I set the bond in that case at $250. In the meantime, you got another. They should have frankly arrested you on this other one, but they didn't. I'm not sure why not. You got stopped on May 3rd. No, that precedes this, May 3rd of 2023. You have a case of no license and improper display of license plates.
yeah, that was
So
the same incident, sir, as the drinking and driving thing that all happened at the
Yeah,
same
that's
time.
separate. That license thing happened in May of 23.
I lost my truck though, sir, when I did the drinking and driving thing or whatever, and I haven't drove since. They took my Suburban and I haven't had a vehicle since then. That was all the same day.
All right. Well, anyway, Mr. Tim George is your lawyer in those cases. And you missed a date in December. You got picked up in February. We reset a hearing. You didn't come in February. You said you were stuck.
I failed, yes.
So we set a show cause hearing and you didn't show up for that. So a bench warrant issued and it's been out since sometime in February of this year. So how did you get arrested last night?
Somebody called and made a complaint that they heard a woman screaming coming from inside a shed, but that was not happening. And so they asked to make sure I was okay, and they seen I was okay, but I had the warrant, so I still got arrested.
All right, did you figure that they would find these warrants?
Yeah, I figured they would, but I still stepped out, so they knew I was okay and stuff. I wasn't gonna evade the situation.
So you and Dylan weren't in a fight or anything?
No, we were not.
All right, well, that's good. I let him out of jail and he doesn't have anywhere to go. If I have a couple options. The next attorney pretrial date is in July 12th. I can leave you in jail in lieu of these bonds, since you gave me the finger twice by not showing up. You've had a warrant out for your arrest for 4 months. So one option is to leave you in jail till we can get Mr. George here and have a pretrial. The other option is to give you a bond and let you out a bond on your promise that you will show up.
I will. Can I get a PR bond, please?
Well, that's the question. Are you working somewhere?
Yeah, actually, I'm working at Breeze Dispo again, like I'm going back to Battle Creek. I got my job back there and I'm going to stay with my mom in Galesburg here soon.
All right, where's your job?
Breeze Cannabis, it's the dispensary I was working at a while back.
I thought that place closed.
No, I ended up just moving. I lost my job there. Like I quit working there so I could come back to Three Rivers. But Canna Breeze is still open in Battle Creek. And
now I'm even more worried. If you move to Battle Creek or Galesburg, I'm more concerned that you won't show up.
Because I've been trying to go to school too at Glen Oaks to see if I can get like a medical degree. So I'm waiting for my fast flood stuff to come in to get approved. So it's not 100% on the Battle Creek thing yet. Like I want to go to school.
All right. Why didn't you ever comment back in or call Mr. George again?
I think I was still stuck in Indiana. Either way, like it was my irresponsible and I was stupid for it. And I feel stupid, sir. That was really stupid on my part. I should have been there and I wish I would have been there.
Well, you're right. This is all part of the same incident.
Wasting everybody's time.
And you do have a lawyer. Now, if I let you out of jail, you've got to contact your lawyer and
Okay.
be here live in person on
Okay.
July 12th, or I'll set the bond at about $10 million and we'll hold on to you till we get these cases resolved. They aren't going to go away.
I know they're not.
I'm going to set all cases for, even though I'm irked, that's not enough reason to leave you in jail for 45 days. In fact, I can't leave you in jail for more than 28 days.
I really appreciate it.
But I'm going to let you out of jail. I'm going to set all cases for an attorney pretrial with your lawyer, Mr. Tim George,
Okay.
for July 12th. Probably a really nice day at 8:30 in the morning. You need to get out of jail. We're going to give you this paperwork. You need to call Mr. George. You haven't talked to him in months.
Okay.
Discuss the case with him and be prepared to discuss these at the pretrial. I'm going to set a PR bond in all cases. Originally on the bench warrant, I set each bond at $250. You weren't driving last night. I'm not sure what the deal is, why they thought someone was screaming in a shed. He says he was sleeping in the shed.
Yeah, we were laying down.
In the shed?
Yeah, he's got a bed and everything in the shed and a little TV. He watches a little tablet thing. He watches TV on, yes. And we were laying down there together and I was in the shed with him and then the trooper started banging on the shed door and asked us what was going on. Please step out, that they wanted to make sure I was okay. It was really confusing.
Well, you can't live in a shed.
No, I usually live inside, but like my dad was allowing Dylan to stay in the shed because he felt bad.
He can't live in the shed. I'm sure if Golden Pond knew there was a guy sleeping in a shed, they probably wouldn't approve it.
Yeah, probably
Anyway,
right.
I don't know what was going on. I guess I don't even need to know. You're here, you're not high or drunk. You seem to understand everything we're talking about. You just blew it off. So you need to get back on track with all of these. You've got a competent lawyer. You need to contact him and you need to show up for your hearing on July 12th at 8:30. I'm going to set a PR bond of $250 in all cases. You're going to get out. If you don't show up, there will be a big fat bond, as I said.
Hey, sir, a PR bond, does that mean like it's a personal recognizance and I can just get out, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, don't do your hair now while we're in court. Yours looks better than mine, but I will. I will see you on July 12th live in person here at the courthouse. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Let's find out about our other young woman. All right. Good morning. Are you Kaylin Christine Kitchen?
Yes.
All right. I understand that they need to take you to the ER in a little bit. Have a seat, please. This is Judge Middleton. We've got several of your cases to deal with. And the problem is you don't show up for court when you're supposed to. You got 3 separate cases, actually more than 3, but 3 separate incidents. File 23238-1 You got charged with operating without a valid license. And your lawyer in that case is Mr. Tim George. You missed some court hearings, you had a pretrial, you pled not guilty. We appointed Mr. George. You were trying to get your driver's license, and I think you had trouble parallel parking. We set a last pretrial for May 23rd at 2 o'clock, and you didn't show up. So we have that case. That's a no ops from December 27th of 2023. Then on April 10th, you got another ticket in White Pigeon for driving with a suspended license. And you didn't show up for your arraignment on May 8th. And I issued a bench warrant for your arrest after 48 hours. But they didn't get around to doing it. Well, anyway, on May 8th. Then you got another ticket for driving suspended on May 4th. That is file number 24746 ST and improper plates. So now, Ms. Kitchen, you have a total of 3 driving cases, and you didn't show up for court in April. You didn't show up for court on May 7th. And you didn't show up for court on May 8th. You were supposed to actually be here 2 days in a row. How did you get arrested last night?
I was driving home from work.
Oh boy, I was afraid of that. So did you get a new ticket for driving suspended?
I'm not sure about this time, but I'm assuming. I don't know, because I was arrested. I don't know if I got like any tickets with this one or not.
Where did you get arrested?
I was on South River Road right outside of Three Rivers.
Where do you work?
Pizza Hut.
Do you still live on River Run Road?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of a weird, I guess you could get it from there.
My babysitter lives right off of South River Road. That's why.
All right. So you're gonna pick your kids up at the babysitter?
Yes.
Now, I don't want to get too much into this, but I understand that you have some sort of an infection and they were going to take you to the doctor.
Yes.
If I let you out of jail, will someone come pick you up?
Yes.
Who?
My mother, or if my mom can't, my sister.
Then can you take yourself to the doctor?
Yes, I could. Well, I couldn't, but somebody could get, somebody could get
I
me
understand, I
there.
understand. Why didn't you show up? You missed 3 separate court dates and you keep on driving.
That's something that I did want to explain that. For the one on the 23rd, I know I did.
Well, don't
miss
tell me
that
about
one.
the driving. I don't want to get into the facts of the case, but why didn't you show up for court?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
The one on the 23rd, I missed that one straight out. That's completely my fault. And by the time I remembered, I felt bad because I kept forgetting about my court dates. But before that, I had gotten something in the mail from the courthouse. Like it said that like whatever court date was changed, and it said something about, oh, whatever other court dates, just forget about those. And it was confusing me. I wasn't positive what to do about it. I wasn't exactly sure when my other 2 court dates were because all of my papers were lost out of my thing. I know it's no excuse. I just wanted to.
well, in May 30th on your ticket, right on the ticket, it says you're supposed to be here May 7th at 8:15. So that was right on the ticket. On the other case, the ticket that you got on May 4th said right on its face, you're supposed to be here May 16th. And so you didn't come any of the dates. Anyway, you got medical problems. You're not a threat or danger to anyone, but you keep driving. You're gonna dig the hole so deep, you're gonna need to be 11 feet tall to climb out of it. You now have three driving suspendeds and one no operator's license. If you got convicted of all that, you'd be revoked. Your driving privileges would be gone for 5 years. I know you're just trying to get back and forth to work, but what you were supposed to do was take your driver's test. And I understand that you had trouble parallel parking. We kept delaying, no, tell me any, we kept delaying the first case so you could get a license. So you just made it worse by continuing to drive. So I'm gonna let you out of jail for a couple of reasons. One, these are just traffic offenses. Two, you got medical issues and I want you to be able to address those. You have a lawyer, Mr. Tim George. I don't know why people won't call him. He's a personable guy. Corey, excuse me, Kaylin, do not drive anymore. Okay?
I don't
All
want
right.
to drive it. I just wanted to
All
say, I obviously haven't called Tim George's because my phone was broken for a few weeks. And it, like, I haven't.
Well, you could
had
call from work at Pizza Hut. But he's, anyway, are you gonna deal with this if I let you out of jail?
Yes.
All right, otherwise I'll leave you in jail till the end of the month. That won't be good for you or your kids or your job. I'm gonna set all cases for attorney pretrial. Now Mr. George has 4 cases to deal with, maybe 5. For July 12th at 8:30. Don't know about a new ticket. All right, now, if you drive again, I am gonna leave you in jail. The prosecutors are trying to help you get your license back. And then you go and get arrested or cited 3 more times for driving. Now, I don't know if you were driving to the McDonald's or driving back and forth from work every day, but stop driving. All right, I'm gonna set a PR bond of $250 in each case. Now, I want you to call Mr. George and discuss this with him. First thing I want you to do is go to the emergency room and deal with your medical issues. Do you have to work today?
No.
All right, so will you do that? Will you call your lawyer and come see me live in person on July 12th at 8:30 in the morning?
Yes.
All right, this didn't need to be this hard. Okay. All right, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, 2 things. Stop driving and come see me on July 12th after you talk to your lawyer. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I don't know. Things end up being much harder than they had to be. And I was afraid that she got picked up while driving again. Anyway, hopefully both she and Miss Niffen will show up and we can make some progress on their cases.
Okay, I edited that weird. I'm just going to stop it there. That's funny. But the next clip.
I'm done.
You hear that. You hear that. That's not a court case. That is an online newscaster who has been covering the Corey Harris situation. It's really short. I think it's hilarious, and I just want you to see it. If you've never seen this guy before, he does an online news show every Monday through Thursday at about the 5 o'clock mark in the afternoon, my time. So that's Central Standard, whatever it would be for you. I think he tries to actually have it out by 5 Eastern Standard Time, but most of the time it's probably around 6. His name is Philip DeFranco. He covered the Corey Harris situation, and he did it with some pizzazz, and it was kind of funny. Check out his latest Corey Harris update. This is hilarious.
I'm done. I quit. I'm so over this. No more Corey Harris after today. He makes a fool of himself. The internet laughs at him. Then he comes back with a, well, actually, makes us all feel bad because, oh, apparently we got it wrong. Turns out he's either the dumbest or like the most pathological lying man on the planet. You know, we got a lot of news to talk about today, but I want to knock this out first. This man got me showcasing emotions, which is nearly impossible because I died inside 7 years ago. So yes, there's been another twist to this story, but we need to start, of course, at the beginning. Because there was that video that went viral of Harris doing what seemed to be one of the dumbest things a human being could possibly do. He joined a legal Zoom hearing regarding his suspended driving license while driving.
This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Right, and so with that, Harris ends up spending 2 nights in jail, and the video goes viral. But then you've got Harris saying, well, actually, I never knew I was driving on a suspended license back when I was ticketed. Right, saying the suspension, which had been tied to unpaid child support, had been lifted 2 years ago. And in fact, court records appeared to back him up, with him showing that a judge had actually ordered the suspension lifted way back in January of 2022. But the Secretary of State was never notified of the suspension being lifted. And as it turns out, that's because Harris didn't pay the license clearance fee to the court clerk's office. But still, at this point, you had Harris essentially claiming that he had been a victim. You know, things can be complicated, botched. It's the government. It's all a mess. Right? Harris saying he hadn't been told about a fee and that all they said was that they would be sending me some paperwork in the mail. And with that, saying he only received that paperwork in the mail this year, 2 years after this all happened. You know, with all this, he even spoke to a local Detroit TV station to talk about the toll this whole ordeal has taken on him.
It has literally been pure OD hell. I've been assaulted. I've been followed. I've been laughed at. I've been ridiculed. I have been disrespected. I don't even go on the internet anymore. I deleted my Facebook, my Instagram, Twitter. I deleted everything.
Right, and I think most of us on the internet were like, oh, fuck, I feel so bad for this guy. But then Harris finds himself back in court yesterday in front of Judge Cedric Simpson, who apparently is not one to be fucked with him explaining in a much nicer and professional way than Harris is deserving that Harris's public statements about the suspended license were absolutely incorrect. Starting with him dropping a pretty important piece of information about the defendant.
He has never had a Michigan license, absolutely, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that fall off the screen.
Corey Harris has never had a license. You fucking schmuck. Right, but that statement might have you looking like Corey Harris, a man who seemingly is perpetually perplexed by everything. You might be wondering, how can you have a license suspended if you never had a license at all? But Judge Simpson cleared that up as well.
When they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in the state.
Right, so for example, if Harris had a license in Kentucky, he'd still be able to drive in Kentucky. He just wouldn't be able to drive in Michigan where the suspension was in effect. But again, that doesn't even apply here. Right, because again, Harris has never had a license anywhere ever. And so with that, Judge Simpson further clarified that there were no clerical errors made by anyone, including the Secretary of State's office, saying that the only failure here was by Harris to take the steps to get his privileges back. And with that, Judge Simpson came prepared with receipts. Right, for example, one of Harris's other claims was that he was unable to go through the process of getting a license because, quote, he was laid up from an accident. Right, saying on TV he was bedridden, he wasn't able to resolve this, and Judge Simpson said that was so disturbing to him because it just wasn't true. And he says, Mr. Harris, the reason I know that, where were you on December 28th, 2023? And this is Harris's initial reaction.
December 28th of 23.
2023.
I know I was laid up from from my
You were at
accident.
the Secretary of State's office.
Judge Simpson was like, I'm gonna just stop you from lying right there. And he revealed not only was he at the Secretary of State's office, which is notable on its own, but specifically he was there renewing his state ID. And that's actually a very key thing with this story because in Michigan, you can only have a state ID or a driver's license. Right? They're two separate things. A state ID doesn't give you the permission to drive, and a driver's license still works as an ID. And in fact, since Corey was 19 years old, Simpson said that Harris had, quote, religiously every year gotten a new ID, and so he knows that he doesn't have a license. And as if all of that wasn't enough on its own, going back to that accident in October of 2023, the prosecution said they just reviewed body cam footage from the accident where reportedly Corey Harris admitted to police twice that he did not have a valid license.
When I was at the police department yesterday, we watched the body cam video. At least twice during this traffic stop, he acknowledged to the officer that he did not have a valid license. Quote, actually, I don't have a valid license.
With him then also in that courtroom being taken into police custody because it turned out he had an outstanding bench warrant for his arrest. Though notably there, Simpson did say that he would be released on bond. And so Harris's next court date is August 7th, which Judge Simpson said should give him plenty of time to get a license. And so while it remains to be seen exactly what consequences Harris will face, the main thing here is I'm done with this man. I never want to see your stupid, confused face ever again. The fact that even for a little bit I felt bad for you makes me feel bad about myself. I just can't decide if you're our dummy or douchebag of the day. And so I'll just leave that up to you watching right now. And
That's called the case, People versus Nicholas Clements.
Good morning, Assistant.
Oh, I'm sorry. You say Middleton?
No,
Oh, I apologize.
I just thought, wow, it could have been, I thought for a minute there was just like two of them. So don't, no, we're not having any of that. It's Friday. Go ahead.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Clements. Mr. Clements, can you please state your name?
Nicholas Clements.
All right. Very
This is
good.
the date and time set for final settlement conference. At this time, you're unable to proceed.
Move to dismiss, Your Honor.
People being unable to proceed, this case is dismissed. That's without prejudice.
Thank you.
Thank you. He doesn't want the tether anymore?
He does not.
He doesn't? Really? That was my gift to him. He's re-gifting. It was her. Sensitive. Court calls the case, People versus Aaron Finley.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Finley. Mr. Finley, please state your name for the record.
Aaron Finley.
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for final settlement conference. I have had a conversation with Ms. Barroso, and I suppose the plan is to dismiss the misdemeanor as it's been reauthorized as a felony.
I do believe that you have the felony file in front of you, and I would be asking that you arraign him on that today.
All right. Your name, sir?
Aaron Finley.
Finley? You are before the court. Get to my complaint here. Right? Is there a reason why it wasn't printed out? You are before the court on a complaint that alleges that on or about December 1st, 2023, location of 3127 Scenic Lake Drive, Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. Count one alleges that on that date and at that location, that you did assault with the intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder by strangulation, the individual known as Lindsay Forbes. You understand that charge, sir? Do you understand that charge? Yes? You're gonna verbalize for me?
Just need to speak up.
Yes.
That is a felony. It is punishable by up to 10 years incarceration and a $5,000 fine plus court costs. Would require your DNA be taken upon your arrest. A consecutive sentence is possible under statute if the assault took place in a place of confinement. You understand the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes.
Count two on that complaint alleges that on that same date and at that same location, you did interfere with electronic communication causing injury or death. Causing injury or death. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
That's a felony, punishable by up to 4 years incarceration and $5,000 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Count 3 on the complaint alleges that on that same date and at that same location, that you did commit the offense of domestic violence upon Lindsay Forbes. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs, and could be subject to a consecutive sentence. You understand that?
Yes.
First question I have for you is, do you want to be represented by counsel? Public defender case.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Finley.
I need 8.
We waive any further reading and stand mute to the charges, Your Honor.
Sorry. Sending every way from a reading, standing mute. Court will enter not guilty plea. Court will set this for probable cause conference. You're demanding that, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll set it for probable cause conference on the 20th. (2024) at 9 a.m. And then a preliminary examination would follow from there. As to bond.
Your Honor, we are asking for bond to continue the same bond as the misdemeanor file. Mr. Finley has been on bond for quite some time. He has had no violations. In fact, he lives on Flint, so he does live away from the complaining witness. He has had no contact with her. He's been compliant with the court's orders. He's been here for every court date. Bond is working as it should be. He has significant family support. His grandmother is here with him. His sister, he lives with his sister. She is also his guardian. And I've had multiple conversations with her. I know that she's very involved and ensures that he gets to court and does what he needs to do. He does have another case in Oakland County that's scheduled for pretrial on Tuesday.
And the case is
and the plan there is there has been an agreement that file is going to be resolved on Tuesday, and then I don't know what the resolution is, but
on a CSC, what degree?
Most of the degrees have been taken down. It's just a 3rd degree right now.
It's a 3rd degree. Okay, go ahead, miss.
he has been out on bond in that case. Obviously, Your Honor, he is with us. And again, there has been a resolution in that file.
Does that CSC involve the same person in this case?
No.
All right. From the people.
I do not rely allegation of interfering with communications was not authorized at the outset, but immediately upon review of this file, I've submitted a request to have this reauthorized as a felony. I do not believe that the bond that is currently set is appropriate in a case to this degree. However, I understand that the defendant has been out and has been compliant. To the best of my knowledge, I will say I don't know when the allegations in the CSC occurred, if that was after the initiation of this case, or if that was prior to the initiation of this case. But at this point, I will leave it in discretion.
May of last year. No. When was your first appearance of the case?
When did the CSC, when did?
He's indicating that he was first arraigned in 2022 on that case, so it's an older case. I don't have the date of offense with me.
Okay. But the problem is that he was on bond on that case when this case comes up.
Yes.
To your knowledge, was that addressed by the magistrate upon arraignment and the other matter?
If you give me one moment, Your Honor, I can check our notes. No, Your Honor, because there was no indication whatsoever that that case was ongoing and he has no convictions on his record. So my understanding is that we did not note that in our bond form. So it would not have been necessarily to be argued by the APA.
He's residing in that the Flynn address.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to indicate that you are not setting your bond, that you are not to use or possess any alcohol, marijuana, or any illegal drugs. I'm going to indicate you're not to leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
You're not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapon or anything fashioned to be a weapon. You understand that?
Yes.
You understand you're not to assault, terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, or molest or stalk anyone. You understand that?
Yes.
I will also order that you're to have no contact with Lindsay Forbes except with a civil standby with the police. You understand that? You are also not to attempt to have any direct or indirect contact with that individual in person or through others, or by any electronic communication, including but not limited to phone, email, text, internet, or any social media. You understand that?
Yes.
I will also indicate you're not to go to the 3127 Scenic Lake Drive in Ann Arbor, Michigan, except with a civil standby with the police. That is not your home address. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
I'm also going to indicate that you are not to violate any criminal law and you're to personally appear at all court hearings and other places as directed by the court. You understand that?
Yes.
Well, a couple of things, and I understand what the magistrate may have been taking into account in setting the original bond, but if there's no knowledge of a CSC pending, when you say that's going to be resolved, is it going to be resolved to your understanding by way of a plea?
Yes, there's a plea agreement.
Well, the court's concern is that the defendant was, Ms. Barossa, were you going to say something to the court or?
My understanding, Your Honor, is it's 2 counts of CSC first, 1 count of CSC second with a victim under 13, and then 1 count of child abusive commercial activity. That was what was charged. I don't know of any resolution, but according to Oakland's website, there has not been a resolution entered yet, from what I can see. He just had a pre-trial on the 28th of May, and is set for another pre-trial on the 11th.
More perplexing to the court is that the defendant was on bond on that case when this case allegedly occurs. That's a problem. And both being crimes of violence, that's a problem. I don't believe that the bond, the magistrate could not have known that that other case that he was on bond on those other serious capital felonies at the time of the arraignment. And if she did know that at the time, the court would consider the setting of a personal or cognizance bond to have been an abuse of discretion. So for those reasons, the court, in ordering everything that I've ordered, will set a monetary bond. In this case, his monetary bond will be set in the amount of $75,000 cash surety. Defendant's remanded. And as to the other matter, case ending in 0125, that case is dismissed. We have anything else ready?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think the rest we have to,
After what?
we're trying to work out.
You're trying to work out.
Yes.
What's that mean?
I would like to have another.
Never mind,
Okay.
never mind. I don't want your answer, Ms. Farney. All right. Now, because it's gonna be close to the same, I'm not gonna like either one. All right, then I'll step off, and as soon as my staff lets me know that there's stuff ready for me to do, I'll come back on. All right, court is standing in recess.
All right.
Court does call the case, People versus Angel Wilson.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate for Miss Wilson, who is approaching. Please state your name for the record, ma'am.
Angel Wilson.
What are we doing?
Your Honor, there is a resolution in this matter to which Miss Wilson will be pleading to added count 2 of operating while visibly impaired, and in exchange, count 1 will be dismissed.
That's an operating while visibly impaired.
That is correct.
May I have her sworn?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
State your name.
Angel Wilson.
Ma'am, it is this court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to the charge of operating while visibly impaired. That is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 93 days in jail, up to $300 fine plus court costs. The court could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services, order any rehabilitative services or community service the court deems necessary. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Understanding all of that, do you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. You signed an advice of rights form today?
Yes.
Any question regarding any of those rights? Please look at paragraph 5 on that form. You'll see a copy on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation?
No.
Are you on parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily?
Yes.
And of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you are indeed guilty of this offense? August 7th, 2023, at the location of US 23 near Michigan Avenue in Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, you consumed intoxicating liquor.
Yes.
What did you have and how much?
I don't.
You don't remember?
How much alcohol?
Okay, how much,
No.
what did you have?
Tequila.
Tequila? Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
An accident.
What happened?
The car rolled
Pardon?
The
You need
car.
to speak up, young lady.
over. The car rolled over on the freeway.
All right. That didn't spontaneously happen. What did you do?
I lost control of the vehicle.
And you rolled it.
Yes.
Did the police and paramedics arrive?
Yes.
Were you taken to the hospital?
Yes.
Were you given a blood test?
Yes.
What were the results?
That I don't.
Was it 0.84?
The defense would stipulate to 0.84, Your Honor.
Do you have any reason to dispute those blood test results?
Me?
Yes. No? Go ahead. Do you have any reason to dispute at all those blood test results?
Oh, yes, I do agree.
Taking everything into consideration on that date and at that time, do you believe that your ability to operate that motor vehicle was visibly impaired due to your consumption of alcohol?
Yes.
Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
Defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Defendant is referred to Von Schwartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this matter will be
July 10th at 9 a.m.
July 10th, 2024, 9 a.m. I have another bond violation.
Yes, Your Honor, and I have discussed that with Ms. Wilson. She does, and I have then reached out to Community Corrections and then got the actual scram report from that company. I did discuss it with Ms. Wilson. She does dispute both drinking and a tamper. She did provide me proof that she was at work as CNA during that time. Further, both in the bond violation report I received from Scram, as well as my client confirmed, she received a new Scram tether on May 28th due to it was either a software update or some sort of malfunction. She had 0 violations for the entire month of May. She got a new tether on May 28th. And then on May 31st, there was an alleged tamper that started at, I believe it was 7:10 a.m. in the morning and stopped at 10:29 at night. During that time, my client was at work from 6:54 a.m. to 3 p.m. She denies drinking whatsoever.
What time did the accident happen?
I'm sorry?
The offense, what time was she at work there at that point too?
No, Your Honor. It was at 4:20 a.m. was when law enforcement arrived on scene.
So early morning doesn't really matter, does it, counsel?
She was at work, Your Honor, and did provide me a screenshot that she clocked into work at 6:54 a.m.
And so, go ahead, I'll let you go.
We would be requesting a formal hearing as to the bond violation. If the
Okay,
court
she'll
is-
get her hearing, but she's gonna be remanded pending that. I mean, I already have had a violation in this case.
I understand that, Your Honor, and I understand she was remanded and served 5 days for that back in April. She denies alcohol use. Quite frankly, I do believe her, and I believe that this may be a malfunction with Scram. She did receive this new tether just on the 28th, and the 31st is when the alleged tamper occurred, and the alleged tamper ended at 10:39 p.m. at night. She still has the Scram tether on. There has been no further alleged tamper. Further, she has been to urgent care this week due to a medical issue that I won't go into too much detail with. I did provide a copy of the doctor's note that she received from that urgent care to Your Honor. We would respectfully request that if the court is leaning towards taking any action, that we set this for a bond violation hearing and that bond continue in the interim. She did enter a plea in this.
That would be fine, counsel, except for the fact that I'm now on my second violation, both involving alcohol. You want me to ignore the fact that the original incident was one where she was drinking, rolled a vehicle. She's lucky to be alive. Then I put her on this. She comes for this charge. She's drinking. She serves her time for drinking. I'm back and I now have another violation.
Yes, Your Honor.
How, in what responsible world would I let her bond just continue pending a hearing?
She denies alcohol use, and we believe it is a tether malfunction, and we are asking for a hearing on the matter. She did enter a plea for this underlying offense and the alleged incident, and she is willing to face penalties for that.
Yeah, because, well, give me the in custody sentencing date, first of all. Changing your sentencing date, what?
June 25th at 9 a.m.
Sentencing will be June 25th, 2024 at 9 a.m. We will move that up. Got a time for a bond hearing I can do. The 25th, my bond hearing date. That's my date that I have. Right.
The 25th is just 19.
Yeah.
Well, but the 24th, we have trials
Yes.
in Mid-Line, right? We'll set a bond hearing on this matter for June 24th, 2024, 9 a.m. Pending the hearing, will be set in the amount of 10,000, make it 5,000 cash. Remainder.
You ready? Let's rock and roll.
Abby,
All right. Pause. I'm having too much fun in chat and not paying attention to what's happening on the screen over here. All right. Wow. On all that. Wow. That's all I have to say about any of that with the Simpson. But that little Harris thing before with Philip DeFranco, that kills me every time I see it. I should have a poll. I don't know how to do the polls. I need to do a poll asking if he should be douchebag of the day, dummy of the day, or both. If we could figure out how to do that, we might put a poll up so everybody can vote. But we're done with Simpson. That's all the Simpson I got for today. I thought those cases were great. I thought they were interesting, to say the least. But now we're going to move on to one of our favorite new judges and a great new addition to the YouTube judge franchise or offerings that are available to you. Just in case anybody doesn't know here, Judge Fleischer just started streaming to YouTube under the name on YouTube, Finding Justice with Judge Fleischer. So look that up, subscribe, check him out during the day. He streams directly from his court. You stream to YouTube, I believe. So you see the same thing that you're going to be seeing here right now. These are some great cases. They happened yesterday. Let's all enjoy them together.
You ready? Let's rock and roll.
Abiola.
Zion Abiola. Mr. Abiola, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with evading arrest. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On both of those cases, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, on May 30th, 2024, officers observed 2 black males walking out of Bedford Place Homeowner Association Park, which is closed after sunset. Officers made contact with the defendant and another male who advised they did not know the park was closed. Defendant kept reaching near his waistband and pocket. Officers attempted to conduct a Terry frisk on the defendant, resulting in the defendant running. Foot pursuit lasted approximately 25 to 30 yards. While running, a black handgun fell from the defendant's waist area. Defendant stated the gun belonged to his mother. Officers recovered a Glock 23, loaded with 1 bullet in the chamber and 7 in the magazine. 15 additional bullets were found inside defendant's book bag, and an extra magazine containing 18 bullets, a total of 41 bullets. Defendant's father arrived on scene and stated the defendant's mother is the one who purchased the weapon for the defendant. Defendant is 19 years of age. He has 2023 unlawful carry of a weapon, non-suit as a juvenile, no out-of-county criminal record.
Here's the rub. What's he doing? Walking while black? What's he doing? What's he doing wrong? Was he under arrest? I mean, all I see is that they go up to him and they just start searching, right?
I believe.
Walking while black. Mr. Abiola, I'd be very careful. You know, where you go, what you do may not end up well for you. I'm going to find no probable cause on this case now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Abiola, be careful. Just take a seat for me in the back, please. Don't leave. On both? Yeah. What's the last name again? Blunt.
David, what? Yes, sir. Wow.
What do we do with you, Mr. Blunt? Since May of this year alone, in the last month, aggravated assault, violation of a protective order, evading arrest, assault of a peace officer, attempted escape, violation of a protective order, and now DWI second. All within 1 month, perhaps 1.5 months. And yet you get another PR bond. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, on May 31st, 2024, officers were dispatched to a DWI following call at North Shepherd Drive and Tidwell Road. Reporting defendant's child called stated his father was driving intoxicated and his mother was in the passenger seat.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Child is in the car calling cops saying dad's drunk driving?
That's what it, yes, Your Honor, said that it's not clear if he was actually, what's clear from what I'm reading, Your Honor. I have to do further. I'm not sure if the child called from another location or if he was actually in the car. But the child called, said his father was intoxicated. If you allow me, Your Honor, to complete, and I'll follow up on the location of the child from the call.
I'm in no rush.
So, the reportee, which was the defendant's child, called and stated his father was driving intoxicated. His mother was in the passenger seat. Officers located the defendant's vehicle. Officers observed the defendant in the driver's seat with the ignition on. Officers observed the defendant to have slurred speech and the smell of alcohol coming from his person. Officers observed an open container in the defendant's vehicle. Later observed to be a cold, to the touch, almost full 12-ounce Bud Light bottle. Defendant admitted to driving with his wife in the passenger seat and consuming 2 to 3 Bud Light beers, 12 ounces. SFSTs, 4 out of 6 horizontal gaze nystagmus, 5 out of 8 walking turns, 2 out of 4 one-leg stands. DIC was read. Defendant consented to a breath test, but later refused the test while at JPC. A blood warrant was signed and executed. Prior DWI from Harris County, 1996. And he did 20 days in Harris County jails. And of course, there's if Your Honor, you've already pointed out the extensive criminal history of the defendant that stands before you today, Your Honor.
I can't in good conscience justify giving you a PR bond, Mr. Blunt. Goes with you. Can you reach out to the MAC, please? Tell me, how old is the child in the car?
I'm doing I don't know that he was in the car, Your Honor. That's what I'm trying to confirm. It's not dispositive from the accusatory document here.
Excuse me, Judge. That's my child and he was not in the vehicle.
Ma'am, don't come up here, speak. I'll hold you in contempt. Take a seat, ma'am. Who's that one that we found? Mr. Abiola, come up.
Other side, other side.
I found no probable cause. Guys, keep it down, please. I found no probable cause. Your cases have been dismissed. The only thing I'm going to counsel you is to be careful. Don't go to parks after hours. Otherwise, they're just going to harass you. You understand? Okay, good luck, man. You're free to go. Harold.
Mr. Blunt, we just want to reapproach Judge or Mr. Blunt.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, Deputy, is it Galvin, right? Do you mind bringing out Mr. Blunt, please?
I mean,
This one.
he's like, oh, no, well, this is DBI. DBI case, Mr. Blunt, the one you were reading earlier about the minor and all that. Yeah.
It's not really.
And Judge, we're gonna ask if you could reconsider the facts, and whether or not you want to PR bond, because it wasn't quite how they started.
No. Sorry, but I'll explain it to you when he gets out here. Okay, so that he can hear it too. Since it's his case, I want him to hear everything I have to say.
It wasn't a minor, Judge, and they weren't even in the.
I understand.
They were at the house. So it's like a regular stop or officer.
I understand. I get it. But that's only one of my 8 concerns, Harold. And I can tell you that, well, let me explain when he gets out.
Our hands weren't clean, but it wasn't like he described at the beginning.
She just lost a fight. She's pissed
No, please, guys, keep it down. Mr. Blunt, this life is about 2 things: perspective and self-control. And I will tell you that I have a very good friend of mine battling breast cancer that has now metastasized to her bones and her ribs. This lady is one of the most well-regarded maternal fetal medicine doctors that saves babies' lives on a daily basis, battling cancer, written books. I mean, top tier of the community battling this, who goes through life in such a fashion to help people. Yet we have you here in front of us where you have violent felony after violent felony after violent felony, who has now picked up a DWI second, where allegedly people are calling cops because a father has 2 beers in the car, allegedly driving. How's that for perspective, Mr. Blunt, where after hearing the facts and after hearing your continual danger to public safety, how can I justify doing a PR bond, Mr. Landreneau? Truly, I don't think that a PR bond's sufficient.
Judge, Mr. Blunt has been incarcerated quite a while before this. He got it last year. He's trying to make a new life for himself. He has a job, a company cutting yards. He has a lot of yards set up for this weekend. If you look at just this stop here, I mean, I know it's the second DWI. The first one was 29 years ago. That's a long time to have not done anything that, with alcohol. And his daughter calls suspecting him of drunk driving. And then they respond to the call. They find the car. Him and his wife are talking in a parking lot at 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's no bad driving, there's no accident, no crash.
No bad driving. We have a child calling the cops scared that he's got 2 open beers in the car.
There's no bad driving. And is there 2 beers? I think there's 1 beer, Judge. And it was almost full. So I mean, that in itself, we don't have clean hands. No, drank 2 or 3 beers, but there's not 2 beers in the car. There's 1 open container, Judge. So we don't have clean hands on this. And it's not perfect, but in all fairness, the last time that Mr. Blunt was out before he was in jail, you could actually have a beer, I think, in the back seat and drive in a car, but now you can't. They changed the law. So I mean, this is how long he'd been in jail before all this, when he got out last year. So this is the same man that had the violent felonies before this. He's turned his life around, trying to. But I was talking with him about this in the back, and it seems like when he makes a mistake now, it's not like a normal person making a mistake. I mean, everything's hyper attenuated on him. So he makes a mistake any one of us might make, any one of us, but you have an open container in the car, you drive a little erratic and you've had a few beers, made a bad decision. Well, now he's going to jail automatically. He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. And I don't think that's really fair. But in all fairness, my colleague here, when he was reading the Dems first, he said something about, I think, a minor, and then, I don't know, maybe you thought the child was in the car. I think I heard that. I was half listening. It was before I was appointed. And they're not a child of the 20 years old, and they weren't in the car. And they called from the house. So to be like anyone calling from, hey, I saw a guy shoot a woman or something, got in the car and drove out with a bad description, and the cops pull him over. I mean, it could have anybody calling to harass another person, and the police are being used as an instrument to harass someone. I don't know anything behind the daughter's actions by calling. We still don't have the blood results back to see what his blood was that night. He only got 4 of 6 on the HGN, Judge. Usually it's always 6 of 6 every time I see one of these DVIs. And, these are all just facts to point out that.
Just for a point of record, Your Honor, I said the reportee, which was the defendant's child. That's what I said, the reportee.
But again, it was somebody that wasn't there at the scene, and he had the key of the ignition, I guess, was on, but he wasn't driving. I know that case law says that is operating, but again, just no accident, no crash. Nothing you would see it on most of the DVIs when people are charged with this. And I don't know if it's fair to hold him more highly accountable than a regular person based on his past.
In a month, he's had 5 felony cases, Harold.
I don't think the other cases, Judge, he's worked them out, but they were last year, I believe. The other felony cases, and he worked them out on the 20th of May, is what I saw.
Mr. Blunt, I want you to know that I'm gonna ride you so hard now, you're gonna think that we're in a damn rodeo. You're gonna report to me 3 times a week here to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol or dope. You will report to me every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday here. I don't know. I don't know about giving him a PR bond. I haven't decided, but I want to tell you now, you will report to me here every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. You will be signing an affidavit that you're not to drive and not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And if I find that you do, I will have a contempt hearing, I will slap you with 180 days if you do, probate it for 2 years, and put you in a lockdown rehab facility where you will be stuck like Chuck for a minimum of 9 months, depending on how well you respond to treatment. The only thing I care about in this life is public safety. You continually violate that. How on earth can I justify letting you out on a free bond when it's case after case after case after case? How many aggravated robberies? How many aggravated assaults? And now a DWI where you're allegedly in the car where we have people calling because they're so concerned. 3 times a week, you will report to me at 8:30 here to take a drug and alcohol test. Do you understand me, sir? And the one time you failed to come here, holy moly, I'm gonna light you up. On one ankle, I'm going to put a scram monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. Under your other leg, I'm going to put a GPS monitor and I'm giving you a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. If you think that this is gonna be an easy ride, you are sorely mistaken. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be, by the end, you're gonna be so sick that I hope that you will think twice before making a move while you're out there in the free world. You are not to be in possession of your weapons. You understand what's expected of you. Come up here. I'm gonna have you swear to us that you're not gonna consume alcohol, drugs, no weapons. I'm not giving him a PR bond yet. I haven't, I don't know, Harold. I don't know how on earth I could. Hey, the kids in this case are a witness. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with any of them. Do you understand? No contact with any of the kids in this case. I know that I'm going to get lit up. I will reluctantly let you walk out of here today. But like I said, you're going to be here so much, you're going to be thinking it's a new career. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8:30 here to take a drug and alcohol test. And I will tell you now, if I find that you drive, which is the worst possible thing you can do, I will have a contempt hearing. You will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. I don't care what your reason is. I don't care if there's a burning baby building that you need to drive and get. I don't care. Do not drive. Are you on parole?
Earlier you said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That's what we're doing. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He needs to go today to get Scram and the GPS monitor. No going out past 9 p.m.
Junior or second? Junior.
Okay, that's it, Mr. Blunt. We'll see.
Judge,
You can stick with it.
And Judge, so on the drug testing, does he go to 49 Central afterwards? You want him to come here first?
Tracy will let him know. You know, Mr. Blunt, the only thing I want are streets to be safe, man. Literally, it's the only thing I want. That's all. I'm not asking much, man. And you know, had you, all it does, Uber, a $20, $10 push of the button, get you anywhere you want to go, man. Anywhere, don't matter where you go. It's a geographical oddity, man. $20 will get you anywhere. That's all I want. Thanks, Harold.
And so, but on the reporting, I've never had this before. I just asked him.
She will tell him everything that he needs to do.
He does come here first and then
He
go.
comes here to report, and then he goes to 49 to take a test.
Hey, John?
So,
For sure.
So the conditions your honor is going to go to Tracy with the no comment?
Everything. Everything. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
These are for.
You Christopher Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garcia, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. But you cannot afford a lawyer. A lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir. Okay.
The officer spoke with a complainant who stated that her ex-boyfriend assaulted her while she was at 9545 LLE Lane, apartment 185 in Harris County, Texas. The complainant and the defendant were at a family gathering and defendant was drinking. Defendant grabbed her by her arm and pulled her outside to get in his truck. While driving home, the defendant struck the complainant several times in the face with a fist, causing her pain. When they arrived at the apartment, defendant continued to punch the complainant in the ribs and under her right arm, causing her pain. Complainant got out of the truck and defendant stomped on her ankle, causing her pain. Complainant emailed officers photos of her injuries, which officers observed to show bruises on her arms, legs, face, and nose. Criminal history, assault of a family member out of court 2, that was dismissed in 2019, reckless driving. Out of 15, he did 2 days Harris County Jail, that was in 2013. Unlawful carry of a weapon, out of court 9, dismissed in 2009.
So he has a prior assault of a family member.
Correct.
Same complaining witness?
The complaining witness on that one, Your Honor, it looks like that was.
Yeah, it's a different complaining witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm here. Sorry
Hey.
about that.
Okay, tell me.
As a different complaining witness on this, on the prior case, that one occurred in 2019.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or dope, I will put you in jail. I'm going to make your bond sky high. My only concern is public safety. You violate her, I'm going to violate you. You understand?
Sure.
No contact with the complaining witness, no weapons. There's a protective order in place identifying Gabriela Maria Cortez as a protected individual. I would get to know it because if you violate this thing, the state of Canada will file a violation of a protective order against you. And I'm telling you, you violate conditions on a BPO, I can hold you at 0 bond until this case is over with, and I'll do it in a heartbeat. You understand?
Sure.
What do you do for a living?
Electrical work. Electrical. I'm an electrician.
You're an electrician. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. When I mean no contact, I mean no contact in any way, shape, or form. No text messages, emails, smoke signals, Snapchat, anything. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So don't worry about doing bond conditions, Damien, because I'm going to have it monitored because of the alcohol. Okay, I don't know if that's what you're planning on doing, but so Tracy, you got it, right? This is Mr. Christopher Garcia.
Appointed, it's
Yes.
Tim Sherman. He was appointed on 5.
How?
May 15th, because I'm not on the plane.
What?
Christopher Garcia? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. No, you must go hire a lawyer. And I'm telling you now, no alcohol, no dope. I'm going to test you. If I find that you're consuming anything, I will put you in jail. And I'm telling you, I'm going to make your bond sky high. Do you understand?
Sure.
I'm going to have you go to Ramona. We'll have you sign a reset. Mr. Garcia, after that, you'll get with Tracy for your bond conditions. Do not leave until we excuse you.
I think, you know, people were so close to your department, I was like, this is a mistake. And then when
Mr.
you-
Townsend, come up.
You posted a bond over there unless you have the paperwork, because I know they can come copy.
This case, I'm not happy with you. Mr. Townsend, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. Your case is 3.5 years old. Did you post a surety bond or did they give you a PR bond?
Okay, they gave me.
No, I just want to know.
Yes, they gave me a PR bond. My first.
No, sorry.
but I had bonded out before then, but they kept saying that I have a warrant. I don't know why, because they said that the case was dismissed. So
I'm not gonna talk with you about that. The only thing I know is that I've had to revoke your bond because you failed to appear. 1, 2, 3, 4 different times. Your case is now 3.5 years old, and I'm not done with the PR bond. That's it. So if they gave you a PR bond, hell no. I'll tell you this, let's do this. Can you reach out to the MAC? Let's appoint him someone so we can get to the bottom of this, because I need to know if they gave him a PR bond or if you posted an actual surety bond. I mean, I have your bond now, 25,004, because if I, say it again?
I was saying I paid it.
You paid the bond on $25,004.
Yes, sir.
Do you have documentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna appoint your lawyer today and we'll find out, and I'll have the lawyer talk to you about it and we'll see from there. But I mean, if they gave you a PR bond, so just take a seat for me at the jury box. I'm gonna get your lawyer real quick. We'll figure it out.
Can I say one thing, Judge?
No, don't. You tell the lawyer and then we'll figure it out.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Judge, Greg is trying to get on.
Yeah, just because I'm not sure.
That's okay. Yeah, please.
Oh, okay. Can I approach over to Council?
Sure.
And I'm gonna show this to Mr. This is from his bail bond, and it's the, showing he was arrested on 5/20. Okay, and in Harris County, they arrested him in Tarrant County, and then he paid the 25. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted him to see it before I showed you.
So you do see that he posted the bond.
Yes,
You're an officer of the court. I trust you.
okay.
You know,
Well, I just,
I trust you.
What's the last name on this? I'm sorry.
Townsend,
Townsend?
Townsend. Yeah.
Oh, it's not on docket. I have to give you the cause number.
Thank you, Judge.
Crap, I don't.
2373650.
2376.
No, 73650.
I'm starting again. 23.
73650.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You're dyslexic today.
But Judge, he was arrested in Tarrant County on this case, on May 20th. And then he paid the $25,000.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can lift the warrant since he's paid the bond.
I can't, if he's already posted the bond, then he's free to go. Should be good to go anyways. It just, it's not.
He needs to go to the sheriff's department or something like that to.
Oh, to,
Yeah, because
To them to make it right.
so to fingerprint and mugshot, something like that, right? Okay. You have to go to the sheriff's office as soon as you leave here. But regardless, we need to figure out what's going to happen. This case is 3.5 years old and I'm ready to set it for trial.
They've made me an offer today, to do a gun safety class and forfeit the weapon.
Okay.
He's agreed to do that.
He has a week. You have a week to get it done.
Okay.
Do you understand? If you don't get it done in a week, and I'm going to tell you now, you ever take off on me again, I'm going to make your bond quadruple what it is now. Do you understand? At some point, someone's going to stop paying to let you out. Every time you miss court, all you do is enrich bonding companies. You're putting their kids through college, school, you're paying their groceries. That's what you do every time you miss court. You give free money to bonding companies. That's all you're doing.
Just for the court's awareness, I think some of the disconnect was he didn't have a lawyer previously and was not getting the letter.
I'm not going to take any,
Okay. But
you know, you have an open case. You can't be playing Helen Keller and just take off and out of sight, out of mind. Court cases don't work like that until you have an actual dismissal in your hand. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not going to let her or anyone else fall on the sword for you. You have 1 week. You don't get it done in a week, I don't care what they offer you. I will not take anything and I'm gonna immediately set your case for trial. You'll have a 10-day trial setting. You understand? Okay, all right.
And what does he need to take with him to the sheriff's office?
He doesn't have the copies of it.
He does not.
Can you print it out from what you have?
How did you see it? I don't see it on these.
So Ramona, please, 1 week SFBF, please, on Mr. Townsend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So which sheriff's office? Where is he gonna go to? 49? No? 700 San Jacinto? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, would you mind putting on a sticky? You have to go fingerprint and mugshot yourself right now. And it's gonna give you the address. You have to go now to go do that. And then we'll see you back in a week. You understand, Mr. Thompson? Okay, good luck. We'll see you in a week.
Have a seat, and then we'll figure out. What we have.
Before we have a
Yes.
Thank you.
Morning, sir. You are Jose Alfredo Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez, guys, please. Mr. Ramirez, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or household member. That allegation kicks it up to a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay. Okay.
Judge, on June 1st of 2024, officers were dispatched to a call, a disturbance call, a family with a weapon in Harris County, Texas. The complainant is the defendant's little brother. The witness is the defendant's sister. Witness stated that she heard defendant Ramirez state, "When you get out, I'm going to slice you up." Witness Patillo stated that she walked into the kitchen area and saw the defendant Ramirez holding a butcher knife, banging it on the kitchen counter against the complainant. Even 13.
You said banging it against the complainant?
That's correct. Counter and against the complainant. EV 13-year-old, the door of the complainant's door.
He was banging on the door.
Looks like, yeah, counting against the complainant EV's door. So witness Patillo then stated that she called the police. Complainant confirmed the threat.
So
It's his 13-year-old little brother.
do we know, are drugs or alcohol have any kind of part in this? He just had a DWI dismissed not a week ago. Also pled to a resisting arrest. I mean,
Alcohol. There was one moment.
I have prior drug cases here from.
I think it was about money. It's not alleged because alcohol. I think this was all over a money dispute.
That was gonna be my next question is why?
The mayor stated that his father had given him $5.
Over $5?
It's a lot of money, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Where you living now, man? Are you still living at this house?
No, sir.
Where you living?
Until that be my friend's house.
You know, you have quite a bit of priors and they're all recent. I don't want to have to deem you a public danger, put you in jail and make your bond really high, Mr. Ramirez, but if you can't control yourself, I'll have no other choice. The only thing I'm asking you to do now is stay away from your brother and your sister. You understand? Not to be in possession of any weapons. You can abide by these conditions, you and I will be best friends. Otherwise, we're going to be mortal enemies, and I'm telling you, it's not going to go well. You understand? If you have a drug or alcohol problem, you better address it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. This is not our first run-in. This is not our second run-in now. How old are you? What do you do? What do you do with your life? Are you high right now?
I'm sick, bro. I'm tired.
It's not bro. My bro. Just we're not bros.
I'm tired. I'm not nothing, bro. I'm kidding.
You can barely keep your eyelids open, man.
I'm tired, man.
If I go drug test you right now, what's gonna show? What's it gonna show?
I don't do no drugs, but
Let's see. I'm sending you for a drug test right now, Mr. Ramirez. Let's see. Sir, you must come back to court. Do you understand? I'm gonna give you a lawyer today, but no more dope, no more alcohol, and I'm gonna test you right now. I wanna see what, if anything, that you're on. Okay. If you can please reach out to the Mac, but I wanna send him right now. No, yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. Right now. Yeah, must come back, please. I am entering what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Edwin Vega and EV as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Both of these people commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is a stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You sure you can keep your eyes open?
I'm listening.
You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where they live or where they work. All right, let's send them for now. I'm gonna have you come up here so we can have you sign for the order for protection. And then I'll just have you wait by the side, please. Deputy, I guess if we can bring the pen pad down somehow, please. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Okay, Ramona, who's next? That's it, okay. You tested positive for cocaine and marijuana.
I only do weed.
Say that again?
I know that I only do weed, so I don't know where that cocaine comes from, because I don't even do cocaine.
The test says something different. I'm gonna tell you now, it's over. Weed, cocaine, alcohol, everything. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you now, you test positive one more time for anything, I'm gonna make your bond really, really high, and I will put you in a rehab facility. I'm now putting you on my Monday and Thursday list that you will come here to test with me on a weekly basis so that I know you're not using. And I'm telling you now, if I find that you're using, it's over. You got out of jail because you got a free bond. If you ain't got no one to post that bond for you, what's gonna happen to you?
I'm trying to know why I'm getting drug tests. I don't even got no drug-related case. I don't even got nowhere to stay. But
How'd you get here today?
what?
How'd you get here today?
What? Trying.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Is what it is. Thanks.
Listen, I don't want to make your life any more difficult than it is. I just got to know that the public is safe and that you're not using any dope. That's all I got to know. Until I know that both of those things aren't going to happen, I got to have you stay with me. Do you understand?
All right.
So I'll see you back here on Monday. I'm going to test you. And then I'm going to test you 30 days from today. If in 30 days from today, you test positive for marijuana, you will go to jail. You test positive for cocaine again, likewise, I will put you in custody. All I'm asking you to do is stop. You have a lawyer. I've given you a lawyer. His name is Greg. TVs aren't working, so you can't see him, but he's here with you now. I will have him reach out to you so both of you can talk about this case.
Can I get his number, Your Honor? The MAC didn't provide it.
You have a cell phone?
Yeah.
What's your number?
832 996.
I've given you have a cell phone? Do you understand?
Yes.
Greg, if you can please reach out to him.
I'll call him once he gets out of court, Your Honor. Talk to his case about him, and we'll also, I'm in there Monday as well. So,
all right. Mr. Ramirez, we'll have you sign a receipt. We'll see you on Monday.
So Judge, you said you have reset in 30 days from today for him to do a drug test.
No, he comes back Monday, and I'm going to drug test him on Monday.
Okay.
Because he's testing positive for cocaine. Cocaine stays in your system 3 days. Okay. So you do cocaine, you do any this weekend, I'll see you on Monday. We'll see. Okay, come on.
I need you to fire.
Your Honor, is there a prosecutor there still?
Yes.
And I didn't know this guy was on my docket today. He's in the holdover. I think they brought him from Austin. It's Yamil Estrada.
Is it on today's docket?
Yeah, and I was gonna see if y'all can look at it and maybe make a rec. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's at least 5 hours of witness interviews, body cams, and that's like on the low end. Class A, a juvenile got how much time y'all have, but I think I know where this might be going. So.
Wow.
If you can see the email to Jones.
Do you mind checking if Mr. Landrino's out there, the lawyer that was here? Okay, Harold.
You hear me, counsel? Or me, just right?
Yeah.
He's muted.
Okay, do you want to bring him, please? What? Greg, you're muted.
Yes, Judge.
I was saying, can you send me an email, because we're gonna do a short transition, but if you send me an email out, at Joe Dennis or Kevin? At the DA's office?
Yeah, I'll send you an email with info. I mean, if you have time, he's going to be on the docket Monday, but I think there's a lot to it to where it's not something you can look
I
at
think
for
I
like 2
completely
minutes
screwed
and
up.
make me a wreck. It's
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Completely screwed up that edit. So, I've been informed that there is a bit to the Blunt situation that I missed, and I am queuing it up as we speak. I have already located generally the spot we need to be. And ladies and gentlemen, this is thanks to my mom. My mom actually watched this and clued me in that this happened and that I missed it. So thanks, Mom, for letting me know that we missed a pretty important part of the Blunt case from the Fleischer docket. Let's check it out.
Harold, I can't. I just can't. After all that Mr. Blunt has put us through, put all the court system through, put Harris County through, I can't justify, and I give everyone PR bonds and I get harangued like crazy because of it. But with Mr. Blunt's history, his
It's not unfair to
repeated.
hold his history for this case. Totally different case. In fact,
I understand that you're saying it's a completely different case, but nevertheless, it's contact after contact after contact. Ag rob, criminal mischief, aggravated assault family member, VPO, evading arrest, assault of a peace officer, attempted escape, VPO, DWI second. The problem is that it just over and over and over and over. And all I want is the public to be safe. That's all I want.
But all those are prior to 2023, Judge.
No, they were all disposed of 2 weeks ago.
Not all of those.
Yes. Okay.
Those are always passed.
The attempted escape, the assault of a peace officer, the evading arrest, felony, or our evading arrest, RVPO, the aggravated assault of a family member. All those cases, 515, 520.
Because Mrs. Blunt is here. She's the lady that spoke out earlier. Spoke with her, and she says that since her husband's released from prison, her 2 older children have resented him coming back. They don't want anything to do with him. They're jealous of the time that she spends with him. And so it's caused a lot of conflict. One of them has mental problems. They called the police on the father.
You're telling me that she puts him above her children?
Judge, I'm saying the time that she spends with her husband, any normal time, husband or wife, after you've had 15 years or whatever, spending with 2 kids alone, all of a sudden dad comes home and now they're jealous of that time.
Is that biological father?
Yes, but she's here today, Judge. She can tell you about that, that there's been instances like the calls to the house. Her son has mental problems and he actually pulled a knife on his father recently. They called the police and charges weren't filed. But one of the charges that's in there.
It's like, Harold, him going over there, it's a recipe for disaster. And I'm telling you now, ma'am, come up.
What I'm saying is this DVR case is because the daughter was following him and he called to say her mom was being beaten by him. And when the police roll up, she's okay, they're talking. And then the DVI investigation begins. I'm trying to get the #1 call, trying to get the report. I can't get either one of those or the report just says DVI, but anything, the initial part of this to see if we can see if she called and said her mom's being beaten.
I know that you're going to tell me it's little bunnies jumping in the woods, right?
Well, I want to tell you the whole thing, Judge, because
I don't want to get into the facts of the case. Like that's not a concern of mine right now.
right.
Ma'am, are you Miss Blunt? Or
Yes.
what is, so my only concern is public safety. How many fatalities do you see in Harris County on a daily basis because of DWIs?
You see them all the time.
No. Every single
Yeah, every day.
day.
That's correct.
Harris County leads the nation in DWI fatalities because every single day a person dies, perhaps 2 or more. And it's such a preventable statistic. It's such a preventable thing where, you know,
So, I mean,
and the problem, what I see is criminal case after criminal case after criminal case. And not 2.5 weeks ago, he had 5 very violent felonies that were all one way or the other disposed of. And now we have a DWI second where I guess allegedly he's driving in a manner that causes other people for concern. And I know that you're going to say no, but remember, there's always 2 sides to a story. I know that there's your side, but there's also an officer's side. And the evidence is going to point to whose side is correct. I don't know.
We were parked, sir. We were not even driving. Our dog,
Okay, I don't want to get into the facts of the case, right?
It's just, you know, of course, we defer to the court's discretion. I just like to know concerning for the state, Your Honor, is that for whatever reason, we're not understanding the circumstances for which the daughter called, but it clearly was enough for the daughter of the defendant to make a call to law enforcement to alert them of the conditions.
The daughter's 20?
she doesn't even live in the home.
But nonetheless, the fact that the
So-
daughter called to make, and it wasn't it wasn't just a random witness, this was the daughter that called out of whatever concern enough to alert the officer. So I think without having done any, spoken with the young lady as of yet, I guess this just raises concerns for the state that the daughter of the defendant did make the call to the officer to alert of this defendant driving.
What were their driving facts again that they alleged? So was he driving the wrong way? Was he speeding? What was he doing?
Let me just go back to the,
There weren't any, Judge.
Stay with us, Val.
I believe it, based off the description that the daughter who's 20.
Mr. Blunt. Val. Talk about Mr. Blunt. I don't know if you remember Mr. Blunt. Picked up another DWI.
It says that the officers were dispatched because the reportee, which was the defendant's child, 20 years old, we do now know, called said her father was driving intoxicated, and that his mother was in the passenger seat. Officers located the defendant's vehicle. Officers observed the defendant in the driver's seat with the ignition on. Officers observed the defendant to have slurred speech and the smell of alcohol coming from his person. Also observed an open container in the defendant's vehicle, later observed to be cold to the touch, almost 12 ounces of Bud Light. The defendant admitted to driving with his wife in the passenger seat and also consuming 2 to 3 Bud Light beers, 12 ounces. And then the SFSTs were conducted, which
I think that's, the only thing that I'm going to say is that, how old is you've got one 20-year-old and what's the
I
other?
have we have a 20-year-old, we have a 17-year-old, and we have a 16-year-old. And
Just, I know that, like I said, you're going to say little bunnies, right? But I'm going to tell you that if your children resent Mr. Blunt, they will potentially lash out in ways that could really, really affect you and Mr. Blunt in ways that will create so much drama. I shudder to think what's going to happen, because when a child resents someone else and when they don't like someone, and if they can't get attention from mom in the way that they want.
that's what it is, a game of tug of war right now. It's what it feels like, Judge. It's a game of tug of war between kids who have had me alone for 15
Needs to be
years.
protected more. Children.
At this point, to be honest with you, my husband and I are the ones who are getting the physical effects.
So a
of the kids.
16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 20-year-old are reaping havoc on you and Mr. Blunt?
That is correct, sir. That is correct, because I'm not sure if you can pull reports, but on the 23rd of last month, my 20-year-old daughter and my mother came to my home. And while me and my husband were laying there in bed, we're trying to entice my husband, and I constantly asked them to leave my home. My husband walked away from the situation, and they followed him from our home to the Beltway on foot while he continued to walk. On top of that, these are just angry kids who have had me alone for 15 years. And now that I'm trying to divide my time between the two, it's a game of tug of war. That's what it is, Judge.
You know, the problem is that, you know, whether you have Mr. Blunt or you have this, the problem is that
And we're seeking
the
counsel.
kids are always the innocents. Kids are always the ones that get beat up. Kids are always the ones that are injured mentally, emotionally, hung up like meat to be just pounded. And it's really unfortunate that, you know, they're looking to you for protection, for love. And when they see that someone else here, they don't like it.
But they're the ones who are physically abusing us. That's why they're not even.
16-year-old?
Yes, yes. My
Physically-
16-year-old son, the day that my husband came home, he was just angry. My 16-year-old has mental health issues. He pulled a gun on my husband the day my husband came home. It's a HPD report. There is a constable report from the day that my daughter and my mother came to our house. And they bust.
If you're not, I mean, if you're choosing Mr. Blunt over the kids, then I would probably have someone else take custody of those kids. Because, I mean, to me, it shows that you would prefer to be.
But I'm not, like, he hasn't even been in the home until recently.
Perception is reality, man. You know? I mean, the kids they're crying out for you.
And what we're doing family
Lashing out,
counseling.
they're begging you not to. Could it be that with all these violent offenses, they're trying to protect you?
No. I mean,
Aggravated assault of peace. What was he in prison for?
aggravated robbery in 2008.
You know, we all make decisions that we have to live with. You are going to make your whatever decision you want to make, and far be it from me to say anything. My only concern is public safety, right? And whether he should be giving a PR bond at this point. All I know is that he just got out of prison and now he's picked up another DWI where his own children are concerned about public safety.
Children are attacking, sir.
So.
The state has not had an opportunity to reach out to either of them, and then it's not clear. It says, according to the accusatory document, I'm not sure if it was the son that called because it said his father. So
He was in the vehicle. My son was in the vehicle
So
with
let's,
my daughter.
I don't want to get into the facts of the case. I mean, the limited purpose of this hearing now is just to determine whether we should give him a PR bond. And I really don't think that, you know, public safety. I mean, if I were to give him a PR bond, public safety would take a back seat. I don't know how else to protect the public.
Just Yogi has a PR bond, right, from the magistrate? So it wouldn't necessarily be coming from you. You wouldn't
I
have to
would
give
be
another one.
provoking the PR bond.
Okay, but under the Rule 9 of the consent decree, isn't he entitled to a PR bond?
Not on the DWI second.
DBS second if the, unless the case is less than 5 years old, it's 29 years ago.
I'll take a look at Rule 9. Let me see. I'll take a look. But regardless, ma'am, I'm going to tell you now that this is not going to be an easy ride for him. I'm going to have him come 3 times a week to prove to me he's not consuming alcohol, illegal drugs. I've already told him he can't drive, and I'm going to be on him like crazy.
Give him total alignment.
So, okay. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And
It's just, I mean, it's a lot going on, Judge, and I'm doing, like I said, it's a game of tug of war between my kids and my husband, and I'm trying to help them all understand, like, I don't choose one, I choose all of you, and
see that.
I understand that.
They
And
don't
that's
see
why we're
that.
doing counseling.
That's why they're children. Children don't have foresight. Children have blinders like this. They can't see the big picture. All they see is someone who's in prison, who's a violent person, who's now drinking in a car. And I mean, they're begging for you not to be with this person who, is that a good role model?
I think,
Hold on. Is
People
that a
change so
good?
much. I mean, people change it and they have to be given an opportunity to show.
He just got out of prison and he's in the car allegedly driving with.
They want to see a different side of their father than what they know, but like I try to tell them.
They don't want to see anything, and
And that's, you're probably right, Judge.
I have no skin in this game. I don't, to me, it doesn't matter. My only concern are the kids as well. Kids have only one person that they look to for protection, you. And if they don't feel protected with you, they don't feel loved by you. And if they feel that you're choosing him over them, holy moly, they're going to make your life a living HE double hockey sticks in ways that if they go out and do something that God forbid they shouldn't do, injure, kill, maim, especially a minor, it's on you.
Right.
It's going to come back to you.
I completely understand that. That's
So-
why I'm trying to do everything that I can, but even my son with the mental health that he needs, like,
I know that you're trying to smooth the relations between them. And perhaps time is something that can cure that. But when you thrust them in at this so fast of a juncture, time heals all wounds. Perhaps you slowly integrate them back into the process. Slowly, maybe one time a month, have them come over, maybe one time every other month. But to have them come over every single day for it, the kids are like, whoa, what's going on here? And that's, to me, that's how they're lashing out, slowly but surely.
like you said.
That's what I mean, that's what, if you really are hell bent on having it, slowly does it. Don't. All right. Okay. Hey.
Yeah, approach.
I don't know yet. Let me go get rule 9. I'm gonna read it because I want to see first if I, just give me 2 minutes. Let me talk the truth. Hey.
Judge, it's something pretty quick.
Okay. That's that. I mean, what do you say much more about that? I'm not going to get into the family politic or whether the judge is right or wrong. We know the ultimate end to that whole situation where he looks up Rule 9, determines that the lawyer is correct in his argument, and grants the PR bond with the horrendous conditions. I mean, I've rarely seen a bond given with conditions like that. I agree with everybody in the chat who says that guy's probably not going to be able to live up to those conditions. No reasonable human can really be expected to live. I mean, 3 times a week testing. People got stuff to do. I mean, you got to go all the way to the middle of town. I mean, think about this. This is Houston. Dude's got to find his way to the middle of Houston, do testing 3 times a week. That's time. I mean, traffic in Houston is horrendous. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We've had a great stream. It's been hilarious. It's been fun. I've really appreciated everybody coming out. I really appreciate the raid from Colin and all you people sticking around after you actually came and watching all this stuff with us. Thanks a lot, Mom, for saving us and letting us know that we missed a big chunk of this blunt situation. And keep in mind that I do this every weekend on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, whatever that may be in your area of the world. So join us next time. I'll see you then. We'll have another great set of cases to look over. It's always about 2 hours worth of stuff. We'll cut all this stuff up into little other videos, so your comments that we featured in the video will be on the channel in other standalone videos over time. So thank you all for coming out. I am your Lone Wolf Usul. I have been your curator and host for this weekend's Live from the Gallery. You all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you during the week. Have a good one. I've really got to come up with a better ending. So, peace out. I'm done. But are you still here? What? Are you still here? It's over. We're done. Scoot, go away. Bye. Thank you for coming by. Next weekend, we'll do it again. Come by then. We'll have fun. See you later. Go. Have fun. The dogs want to go out. I'm gone. Bye.